Good morning and welcome back to our final fabulous segment here on CityLine as I'm cleaning my glasses. With me, I have an advisory group. Now, Tacoma has really amazing advisory groups, and we're going to find out how you can join this advisory group. This one is called the Citizens Police Advisory Group. I love the name. It makes me think of secret agents and Jane Bond and James Bond and all that stuff. But let's really find out what it is. Please join me in welcoming Krystle Edwards. You are on the board. We call you a board member of the Citizens Police Advisory Group. Welcome, my dear.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Good to have you on CityLine. You brought with you this amazing woman, Dana Coggon. You are a board member also on the Citizens Police Advisory Group. You're also everywhere in my life. I should have just picked you up this morning.
We should have just driven in together.
We should have. Yeah. You've got some amazing socks on. Put one foot up and show us your sock. Hold still. There it is. You didn't even know we had sock cam, did you?
I didn't know you had sock cam. I just try to give good sock.
You know what? I'm going to use that phrase. You give good sock. I love that. The Tacoma, as I said in the opening, they have over 30 committees of boards and commissions. And for me, it's one of the best ways to be involved and make recommendations to the city council, the city staff. They range from everything from the Tacoma Arts Commission to the Planning Commission. And one that I was involved with was the City Events and Recognition Committee. Back then, it was just called it was called the, I think it was just called the City of Destiny Awards, because that's the only thing that we did. So this committee, the Citizens Police Advisory Group, let's talk about first off, Krystle, what is the mission of the committee? What does it do?
Sure. The Citizen Police Advisory Committee is a policy-focused board that ensures transparency and accountability in the way the Tacoma Police Department operates.
Wow, that is a heavy thing to say at 9:48 in the morning.
I nailed it.
So, Dana, let's define policy.
So when we look at policy, our board is not there to be the sounding board for individual issues, but it really is a board that we look at the structure of how the police interact on what we call policy regulations, which are the rules and responsibilities of the individual department. So it really just sets the tone for how the individual officers handle things, both in the field and also in the phone banks. So if you call in and you do have a complaint, there are some rules and regulations that go around that guide how we reach out to citizens. So this board is really that bridge between the police and the citizens in a way that sets the guidelines and tone.
Well said. Wow. Well, and I still think this is a incredible, heavy opportunity and such a privilege. How did the two of you end up on this committee? And I'm going to start with you first, Krystle.
Sure. Actually, when I was in Portland, I went to school down there. I volunteered for a trauma response program, and I spent a lot of time interacting with the community during traumatic events and also with first responders. And I think that the work that the first responders do is incredibly important, but I also definitely see a need for that, bridging the gap and the connection that's there. And then obviously also with all the issues that are going on with the community about relationships with police and diverse backgrounds. So I just wanted to be a part of it and use my experiences to bring to the table and help make it better.
Boy, you just were a shoo-in for this. I mean, because your background in Portland mirrors what you're doing here in Tacoma.
Yeah.
How beautiful. Dana, what about you? You are a very busy person. You are involved in many organizations. You give a lot to this community. How did you end up on this committee?
I really felt that this was a committee that I didn't honestly know a lot about. And so when I went and I searched things that maybe I didn't know a ton about, this was one committee that came up. And so I dug in a little bit deeper. I actually had a friend encourage me and say, hey, this application is open, jump online and get it. And it was as simple as that. The application is open online, and you can go online and fill out an application to become a member of our committee.
Okay, so we've been showing the website below you, so go on there. And I think there's always a list of things, but click on the Citizens Police Advisory Committee.
Yeah, committee. And then you can actually go directly to that page, fill out the form, and then there's a process that then happens that you would go through an interview with the
Okay.
city council or with some city council members.
Okay.
And then at that point, again, it's simple. The reason why I was drawn to it was that it gives me an opportunity to feed back into the community in a way that's a little outside the box for me, right?
Yeah.
It stretches me a little bit in a way that I feel comfortable knowing a lot of things about other aspects of our community, but definitely with the Citizens Police Advisory Council, this gave me an opportunity to say, I think I can fill a gap and I think I can bridge some pieces within our community.
Oh, I love that. That is fabulous. Let's go back and talk a little bit more about the process, because I know that for some people, it can be daunting to fill out things online. And we want to be, as you use the word, very transparent about how you go about this. So obviously you need to have a computer. You can go to the library if you don't have
Go
one.
to the library, yes.
And fill it out. And then once you hit the submit button, Krystle, how long until you hear back from somebody? Typically, we're not going to hold you to this.
Yeah,
but
I don't know the answer to that
Okay.
exactly, but you will receive something that says your application's been submitted.
There we go.
And you will eventually, hopefully, be contacted if you make the first process, make it through that process, that you've been selected for an interview.
Okay.
And then at that point, they'll let you know when and where, and then you respond saying that you'll make it. And then you go and you interview.
Okay, let's talk about this interview, because I know that people who are not used to or comfortable interviewing
Right.
may hear that word and go, no. Explain the interview process that both of you went through. And Dana, why don't you go ahead and go first?
So it was interesting because we actually did talk about the differences in our interview
Oh,
process.
good, okay.
As we were setting up for this. For me, the interview process was a little daunting, and even though I've been involved in a lot of things, it's still an interview. So you do have to prepare for it. You do have to figure out why you want to be involved and engaged in this process. And then you actually meet with a few city council members. There are some questions that they'll ask you, and then you just go and you share your passion about why we love our community and why
Yes.
we want to make our community safer for both the citizens and the officers. So it's really an opportunity to really, really dig in on that for each individual. The interview process, super simple. You get really nervous, kind of like today. You get really nervous. You go on the...
I'm so difficult.
I know, so difficult. You get nervous, you go in, you talk to a small board. It's usually about, I think my interview panel was 5 people, I want to say, 4 or 5.
Yeah.
And then you get up when you're done and you drink some water and you feel good about being part of the process.
Yeah.
But I know we had a little bit of a different experience.
But Dana, how long have you been on this committee?
So I've been on the committee, actually we've both been on the committee for
Yeah.
the same time. We were both appointed in 2017, and
Oh,
it is
great.
a 3-year position.
That was one of my questions.
So,
So
and
3-year
again,
commitment.
it's a 3-year commitment. And again, we do have 2 positions open, one in
Okay.
District 1 and one in District 5. And we also have a youth space available. So if youth are looking at getting engaged, and the
Yeah.
youth can be from anywhere in the city of Tacoma.
That is fabulous
Yeah,
to know.
it's really great.
So what was your experience like interviewing?
So I actually, there was a line that said you'll have a certain period of time to present to the committee why you want to do it. And in my mind, I thought I needed to prepare a speech.
You
So
are
I literally
fabulous.
prepared a speech and practiced it. And then when I went in, I realized it wasn't quite that. It was more of the interview conversation sitting down. And I got a little nervous, but I was like, well, this is what I prepared, so I can't back out. So I literally gave a speech.
How precious are you?
And they were just like, okay, cool. But I think they were shocked. They were like, well, we just have one question. And I was like, okay.
Well, they have one question after the speech.
After the speech, because
you
I
answered all
I
the
answered
questions.
all of it. And so it was funny. I was like, okay, well, better to be over prepared than under prepared.
Yeah, you have now set the bar for all
Yeah,
of our viewers.
so,
Yeah, prepare an elevator speech.
Yes, exactly.
I love that. So, how often does this group meet, Krystle?
So we meet once a month.
Okay.
If you are a part of a smaller subcommittee within the committee, you may meet. It just depends on what your project is. So you may have additional meetings out there, but that's up to your group to decide. And it's the second Monday of the month at 6 p.m.
Okay. So, question for both of you before we have to say goodbye. When we think about goals for this committee for 2020, I'd like each of you to share a goal. Go ahead, Krystle.
Sure. So we've been working a lot on a community trauma response team. So that's something for 2020 we're hoping to roll out.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
And will that be something that people have a chance to also apply for?
There will be volunteer opportunities with
Nice.
that. Yes, absolutely.
We definitely want to stay tuned for
Yes.
that. That definitely is an upcoming comfy couch
Yes,
conversation.
for sure.
Dana, what goal do you think in your mind?
So I think the goal that I have for our group for the next year is really to get more people engaged.
There we
We
go.
are an open group. You can come and you can sit in on any meetings that you want. That's second Monday of every month. Currently, we're meeting at City Hall. We do have one other meeting that might kind of move a little bit to work with the University of Washington. So we have some really great opportunities.
And the retreat.
The retreat, if you're a board member, we actually have a retreat that's coming up. And at that retreat, we get a chance to really set our goals for the next year. So it's
nice.
a community engagement goal setting. We don't just set the goals as individuals, but we set it as a team. We look to really continue to create connections with Project Peace, which is a really great opportunity here in the
Yes.
city. And then I think for me on a personal level, I think our goal would be just to get more people to understand that our committee plays a vital role in keeping our community safe and healthy.
Absolutely. I love that it was shared that you could come sit and observe because,
Absolutely.
boy, for my time, I would definitely want to come sit and watch the group, watch the energy, and be able to get a sneak peek of the agenda. So that's a beautiful invitation to put out there for people. Thank you both for your commitment to this community, for standing in the solution. Because that's what you're doing.
Absolutely,
And for
yeah.
those invisible wings that are on your back. I want to have you back on the couch very, very soon, okay? Thank you both so much.
Thank you for having
you.
us.
My pleasure. Well, that wraps up another great segment of CityLine. It's always a pleasure and a privilege to be in your home. We've given you some really great things to think about in this last hour, so please go out there, be a part of the tapestry, and above all, pay it forward. And when you come back, as always, we'll be waiting for you right here at CityLine. Take care.
Tacoma is my home, from the fires to the dawn. Tacoma is my home, yeah, Tacoma, that's my home. Tacoma, that's my home, place I call my own. Tacoma, that's my home, yeah, Tacoma, that's my home. Oh, you're from Seattle, oh, you're from LA, oh, you're from Chicago, but Tacoma's where you'll stay. Oh, you're from Seattle, oh, you're from LA, oh, you're from Chicago, but Tacoma's where you'll stay, yeah. Tacoma, that's my home, from the fires to the dawn. Tacoma, that's my home, yeah, Tacoma, that's my home. Tacoma, that's my home, place I call my own. Tacoma, that's my home, yeah, Tacoma, that's my home. Oh, you're from the easy, oh, you're from Green Bay, oh, you're from Atlanta, but Tacoma's where you'll stay. Oh, you're from the easy, oh, you're from Green Bay, oh, you're from Atlanta, but Tacoma's where you'll stay.